Well, I mean, first of all, it's important to look at Margaret's story because it's illustrative in many ways. I mean, first of all, when you say adjunct professor, a number of people, first of all, many people don't know what that is. But the ones who, of those who do, many people think it was more like my situation. You have a good paying job and then, you teach a course, on one course a semester or something like that. But you're not actually relying on this for your economic well-being. That's a perception people have, but that is not the reality in many, many cases. In fact, Margaret's a perfect example. She was teaching 5 courses a year, paid about between $3,000 and $3,500 per course. So that's an income of about $25,000 a year or less. And when you're teaching 5 courses, again, as someone who's taught, that's a full-time job. Full-time professors often teach less than that. Tenured full-time professors who make very good salaries often teach less than that or that amount. So $25,000 a year is poverty, and so and that's just the salary. There's no benefits, as you say. There's no health care. And often there's no support system for the person. So it is really an impoverished life, and many people, this is their only source of income. And these are not lazy people. These are people who work very hard. These are people who are very smart. These are people who are leaders in their field sometimes. It speaks an indifference, which I find both ironic and troubling on the part of universities. Because frankly, there's this image of universities of these bastions of liberalism, and often, in sort of in a ethereal way, they are in terms of their academic mission. But in terms of how they treat their employees, suddenly all that goes out the window. I mean, you'll have universities that teach great courses on the American labor movement, and you'll have universities with courses on poverty studies and all of that. And they don't see the irony in the person teaching that not being able to heat their home because they won't pay them. At the same time, we've seen faculty, here in Pennsylvania, we've seen faculty, administrative salaries go into the well into the 7 figures. And so it's again, as I said before, this is a reflection of what's happening in society as a whole. There was a great video I saw just this morning, which tracks, it basically takes 100 people as the average, Americans, and the richest 1, the richest 5, the richest 10, the poorest 20, and shows how much they earn, and it's just startling. 1% of our country owns 20% of the wealth. 20%, 1%, when you get out to 5%, you get into the majority of wealth in this country. And whereas the average person in middle class is making less than they did before. One of the most striking statistics I saw was over the last 30 years, the average salary of the top 1% has tripled, whereas the average salary of the bottom 20% has actually stayed the same or even gone down slightly. That's where we are, and universities should be a bastion against that, but they're not in many cases. In many cases, they're doing it. This isn't a collateral issue that results in some uncontrollable phenomenon. They are deliberately doing this. This is what they're trying to do, and they brag, look how much money we're saving. Well, you're saving it by taking some of your hardest working faculty members and putting them into poverty.